Hi guys, it's Mike here from KS Bushcraft Down Under. Thought I'd rattle you out a bit of a review of my Olight Marauder Mini. So this was a Christmas present to myself. Had it a few weeks now. It was on their Black Friday sale where it was about 40% off because it's an expensive flashlight. So it is an absolute beast. So as it came with the pouch, the torch, the lanyard. This magnetic clip was in a separate box, well, that was a bonus or not, and it came well boxed up, nice box. And when it came, there was a plastic sleeve in there to prevent the battery being turned on accidentally. Now it took 6 hours for its first charge. So in the box comes a magnetic charging clip, which is absolutely brilliant, so much better than the USB-C or something or other I normally have on most of my rechargeable torches. So clips on there, that turns red, it's green when it's fully charged, so it's pretty straightforward stuff. So that's a real bonus. So when it's fully charged, that turns green. So if you're leaving it on your bedside table, you can see where the torch is in the dark. Now some of my other outdoors torches have a mode where it has a very faint LED blink, so you can find it in the dark in the tent. This doesn't have that. So there's an awful lot going on with this torch, but I'll rattle you out the specs first. On the box it says it's 462 grams. With the included lanyard I got 480 grams, so 16.3 ounces. The battery inside is 6,500 milliamps at 3.7 volts. It does drop out, so you can actually get a second battery for this. It's made in China. It's got an IPXB water rating. It will stand a drop of 1.5 meters. It's a length of 130 millimeters, which is 5.12 inches. The bezel, 65.6 millimeter diameter, or 2.58 inches. As I mentioned, it's got a magnetic charge, 7,000 lumens peak, and a 600 meter throw. You can only do that for a few minutes. So you can see it's got a heat sink on it. There's a lot going on with this torch, and there's a lot of electronics in it to protect it from overheating, which it certainly would do if it was left on high. It's got this rotary switch, which, to be honest with you, it took me a little bit of getting used to. I'm sort of the, grab it like this, Petzl Tanika, I think it is. So 1, 2, and off, yeah. This requires, now you wouldn't want this getting turned on in a backpack or something or other, because it would generate a lot of heat. That would go really badly. So if it's been left alone for about, if you just press it, nothing's going to happen. The only thing that will come on is the battery indicator. So it requires a turn. See it come on, the colour light come on the side, and now she's on. So this torch vibrates. Now once it hits its lowest or its highest output, no matter what mode you're in, it'll vibrate. So that's sort of cool when you get used to it. Now it's got a mechanical switch for floodlight or spotlight. So I can't show it towards the camera, it'll just drive it nuts. So the spotlight mode just brings on the center part. Floodlight, the outside bezel. So one click brings it on. A double click brings it into boost mode, and you should call it beast mode really. There's a lot of light going on. So if you left that on long enough, it will throttle back itself. And by holding it down, you can change the colours. Now the colours again are adjustable. It flashes up here, I don't know why, in the colour that you're setting it in. So by holding it down, you can go red, green, there we go, green there, and blue. I don't know why you need that. It's pretty obvious you're in blue light. These coloured lights are really quite good for walking the dog and stuff, especially the green. So I've been trying it in different modes, and I don't want a huge amount of light when I'm walking the dog. I don't want to trip over anyone. I don't want to trip over any homeless people. So I like to see them before they know they can see me, and the red light's really quite good for that. So now there is a strobe mode. Now to get the strobe mode, you need to rapidly hit this button 3 times once it's awake. So in a stressful situation, that would be the easiest thing to do. Okay, so boom. So there it is there. Now if you had that pointed towards you, you'd be in all sorts of trouble. So now I've taken this outside in the early hours of the morning, summertime here, so I had to go out there about 3 AM. I took it to my local park to show you this out in the field, and it really is a beast. Now, when I'm taking photos of the specs here so you can read them to your heart's content, what I found odd was on the coloured lights, so the blue light here, the lowest setting of 55 lumens is 17 hours, but on 50 lumens on the spotlights he's got 43 hours. So I can't make sense of that. Now, it's a brick. It's got this rubberized strike bezel, so it's not really a strike bezel. Could really probably strike it better that way. It really is a powerful tool, certainly not pocket friendly. So if you've got a large area, or you're looking for someone, or a rescue tool, certainly got its applications. Around camp, unless you're burning possums out of the tree, I don't know what you'd be using it for. But it is really well made. But I said I would like maybe a simpler switch. So you need to be familiar with it to get it to work, especially half asleep if you wake them out of bed. Anyway, guys, I thought you'd like seeing this. I'll roll the footage of me running around the park in the dark. The camera's done a reasonable representation of seeing in the dark. Anyway, guys, I'll roll that. If you like this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you next time. Okay, guys, I'm at my local park. Currently, I've got the Marauder Mini on its lowest setting. So there are street lights in here. I'll turning it up. So that's on the flood. That's the hotspot. So this is the spotlight beam here coming across. Flip back to flood. Okay. Huge amount of light. So I'll give it a double tap. Single. That's the boost mode. There's the spot on boost. Slowly winding it down for you. I'll go over to the other side. The red colour is actually the best to walk by. across the lake, there's not much reflective surfaces out there, so I started to turn it up. There it is on the regular flood. There's the spot flood. There's the boost mode on. Walking along with the green lights is quite nice. Even the lowest setting of the white light is unfortunately where we are here, sometimes there's homeless people, so I'd rather know where they are before they know where I am. Going slowly dialing up. I do prefer the spread beam. So, the pathway has been blocked. We've got the sprinklers on again today. The rest of us have been restricted to twice a week, and these guys are going daily. So, walking this path on the lowest setting, no problems at all. Plenty of penetration into the bush. Even the colour lights are adjustable. That's the lowest. I'd like to see it lower than that. That's the highest on the red. That's the lowest on the green. The blue. I'll point it into the bushes here, see if I can give you a tap on the strobe mode. So you wouldn't know where you were. Spotlight mode. Certainly there's a lot less light loss, peripheral light. Especially penetration, alright. Just coming up to an alleyway here. Reflective sort of surfaces on one side, asbestos fencing on the other. Lowest white light setting, more than enough light.